Images generated with Stable Diffusion are in the neighborhood of 500 pixels for the older models, or with the new XL models they are around 1000 pixels. In general, you would like to have your images to be much larger. On a 4K monitor we want at least a 4K image. Upscaling is our friend, and the method that I personally use most often is to do a latent upscale by 2 and followed by an image upscale by 2. There are different options though, and I created a workflow where I can mix and match and see what works best for a particular picture. Let's have a look. This is my upscaling workflow. It's built with efficiency nodes, which were the subject of a previous video. So it works from left to right, and here at the left we have our efficiency loader. Then it's followed by the efficiency sampler, and then we have a small image which we like to upscale, so we now need an upscaler. The first upscaler here is the latent upscale. Right click to find it, add node, and then we go to latent, and then we go to upscale by, or you can choose upscale latent and you have to fill in the numbers. I prefer upscale by. This is the one, and all I did is give it a red color because I use it also as a switch. When I hit Ctrl M on the keyboard, it is switched off and it doesn't work in this workflow. I can choose to use the output image of the sampler to go to an image upscaler further down the road. But normally I prefer to use latent upscale first, so I switch it on. We will see the images or the differences between the images in a second. Let me first go on explaining what we have here on the right. Right, so we now have a latent upscaled model which is sampled. Beware, the sampler denoise around 0.5 seems to be the best value. Maybe a little bit more, between 5 and 0.6 gives usually the best results. So that image that we now have, we send that to an image upscaler, which I have over here and which I can switch on, and there it goes. That image upscaler, we can find it over here, add node, and go to image, and then upscaling, of course, and there we have image upscale by model, using a model. That's the one. And then of course we have to load a model, that is this one over here. So to find that, add node, and then loaders, and there we have load an upscale model. That's the one. That upscale model, that of course goes here in the upscaler itself. The image goes in there, and then an upscaled image comes out. What I do with that upscaled image, the upscale models, they often are 2 times or 4 times. If it is 4 times, now my image is already too large. So I downscale the image, and the node used here is actually, I changed the title, it's called an upscale node. So that can be found here, add node, image, and then upscaling. And this is the upscale image that I use. I do now use the image one, which means I can enter the values. You could also choose upscale image by, then you have a factor to enter. But I want to use the numbers because I have a 4K monitor. I put it on 2160 for the height, and then everything goes fine for me. So now I have an latent upscale followed by an image upscale. Let's have a look at how that performs. Oh wait, I forgot something. We used for the image upscale, we used upscale by model, which means that you need an upscale model to use it. And to find upscale models, there's this very nice website called Open Model Database. Just go there. They have upscalers for every type of image that you can imagine, and there are plenty of them. So make a choice and then download that model and put it in your ComfyUI model upscale folder. This is our base image. It's 512 pixels stretched on my screen. This is latent upscaled twice. Note how the image changes. That's because we have that denoise factor of 0.5, which means noise is added and it is again sampled. So there is a change from the original image to the latent upscaled image, but the quality, picture quality itself is much better. Look at her necklace, that also changed. But now we are going to add the 2 times image upscale after the latent upscale. And now it is subtle, but there is a clear difference. Maybe it doesn't show on the HD video here on YouTube, but on a 4K monitor I can assure there is a difference. Look at her necklace. This is latent only and this is image, and back and forth. There is a clear difference on a 4K monitor. Okay, so latent upscale followed by image upscale, it works. It is not all we can do with this workflow. We can also do, suppose, just an image upscale by 4. I can simply switch this one on, then I drag this image output to this image input, and now I have an image upscale by 4. We will see in a second what the image looks like. But also we could do it differently. Do an image upscale by 2, which means that I downscale it again. I downscale it to 1024. Now, so that sounds strange, but we first upscale the image and then we downscale it again, we shrink it, and then the output of this one we send to the next image upscaler, and I switch it on. And that one I put on my monitor size. Oh, that is outside of the view. Well, that is 2160. So I now have a base image generated here. And I have an upscaler here and followed by a shrink. And then another upscaler. Maybe that gives another result. A better or worse, I don't know yet. We will have a look. And also what we can do even is not send this image to the second upscaler. We can send this image to a VAE encoder, then do another sampling step, this time not with 0.5 because that will change the image again a lot, but a smaller value of 0.3 or even less is fine. And then we have another sampling step which can improve the image, add a little detail and what have you not. And then that output is what we send to the final upscaler. This workflow has all the options, so let's have a look at a couple of the output images. Okay, as a reference, this is the base image again. Now we do not a latent upscale, we do an image upscale first by 2. Note the higher detail, but it's also quite coarse, noisy a bit. Image 4 times in one go, and well, a subtle difference. And now image 2 times 2, that makes it smoother. And let's have a look. 4, 2, well, 2, and 4 times and 2 times 2. That is a smoother image. And now comes the final one. First image upscale times 2, then do a sampling step, and then again image times 2. And yeah, that changes the image a little bit. Does it give a better quality? Well, in some areas it does. It is less smooth, but in some areas it still is a bit smooth. It's a bit of a mixed picture. Well, you can just experiment. The workflow is available I will put the link in the description, and then you can experiment whatever you want. Latent or image upscale or any mix possible. That's what it is about. Well, thank you for watching, and in the meantime, until the next video, have fun.